everybody. It's Leala.
And Beau.
Welcome back to my channel. We're here to discuss the confirmed Queendom Season 2 lineup.
I forgot. I have something for you.
What?
Hold out your hand.
Okay.
Put it on your nose, that clown nose. Here, give me my shoes. Flop, flop.
Honk, honk.
Gonna do this again, are we?
Hey, look. We had like a 50% rate of correctness.
Right, but I was also talking about the emotional turmoil we're about to go through. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, 50% prediction rate. Not bad.
So thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to hear our Queendom episode recaps once it starts. Today we're going to discuss the confirmed lineup after our prediction video that we put out last week for who you wanted to see on the show. So if you haven't seen that one, I recommend going back and listening to that one where we talk about who you wanted to see on the show. Yes. And here this is the second part of that discussion where we'll talk about who's actually going to be on the show.
Yeah, we had about a 50% prediction rate on our GP999 podcast. So I think
our batting average is relatively
I think
low. This
is not that surprising, but it's cool. So I'm happy that we had fun during that run too. And I think the program will run about the same length. Mm-hmm. So if you follow now, you know how the several steps of grief will go through.
The emotional turmoil that's about to begin. So we'll start talking about the ones that we got correct, and then the ones we got incorrect.
Incorrect, yes. Okay. As in they're not going to be there.
that we guessed wrong. So we'll start out with WJSN. They were one of our predictions, and they're confirmed. They're going to be on Queendom. Yay!
Okay, I didn't know they were called Cosmic Girls.
Yeah.
I knew that there was a group called Cosmic Girls. I didn't know it was WJSN, and I'm glad because now I'm just going to call them Cosmic Girls because WJSN sounds like a 1978 rock and roll station from like Cincinnati. So, it's
actually, someone who understands Korean needs to help me and say it correctly, but WJSN is technically a romanization of Wooju Sunya or something, which is when people in Korean say their name, they say Wooju Sunya or whatever.
Right. So is that the romanization of the first letter? No one
actually says WJSN except for maybe me.
So what do they say?
Wooju Sunya.
But
so I'm sorry. I think it means cosmic girls
because I saw them referenced as that.
But it's abbreviated as it's all very confusing.
Unusual because some K-pop groups will just use the English name and some will just use it. That's cool.
Anyway,
I thought they fit the profile perfectly because they're a little older.
Yeah. They
have a lot of variety. They're actually super good.
Yep.
That WJSN Black, the other side song they had was amazing.
Yes.
Chikome is my favorite thing in the last year. Seriously, if they can somehow throw in a little Chikome there, that'd be cute. But they probably won't. But that would be adorable.
We need to go back before this and actually listen to all the WJSN title songs. We've only listened to the subunit songs, the Chikome and WJSN Black.
Oh, right. No, I heard.
I don't think I've ever properly listened to WJSN full group.
I've seen or watched a few, two. But yeah, I'm completely unfamiliar with them as far as that. But I know that they're really funny. They have that old school style of being really funny, really pretty, really just...
They're going to be great.
They're K-pop. They're just
super underrated, so this is going to be great for them. It gives them an opportunity to show off.
I'm trying to think who will be, in comparison to their first season, who's going to be the Oh My Girl, who's going to be the blah, blah, blah. And so I think WJSN might be... They're not Oh My Girl because they're not that new, but I guess maybe...
They're like Oh My Girl or Lovelies, that kind of
Lovelies, yeah. I like Lovelies,
anything else on that?
So I wonder who in this group would be who is a really funny one from Lovelies.
We don't have to compare it to last season.
I know, I'm just wondering. So yeah, we definitely... I think they're strong points, the versatile concepts. They can do glamour, they can do funny, they can do whatever. Mm-hmm. So I see them as being kind of the sleeper hit.
I think so too.
There's a challenge here with a lot of members. That's hard. And they're not even the largest. Loona's, we'll talk about that. But so I'm interested to see what they do. And if I can see a little Chikome, I'll just lose my butter.
Okay. And after that, our other prediction that was correct was Loona, which is really exciting. They're one that we know they can do. They've done boy group covers and just killed it. So I'm really excited to see what Loona's going to do.
Loona was funny. I love this picture too, by the way. So we got that right.
Yeah.
what was the deal? They have been quiet for a while. Were people thinking that they were quiet because of some issues with their label, or but maybe they were being quiet in preparation for this? Or
no, I mean they were having problems with their label with money,
which to me is
amazing. I
amazing.
don't think that there's been any statement or resolution about what the status of that is.
Right.
But they did just have a concert recently. I don't think there's any reason to think that there's like things are going that badly for them. Yeah. It's just kind of
they were kind of like
iffy. I mean, I think they're doing fine, and they're again one that has a lot of international fans that's going to bring viewers to the show.
Yeah,
and could use more.
They've got
recognition.
They're not. They don't have a sad story. They have a story of a group that has just had some little hard times, and it's 12 people. Mm-hmm. They're known for their dancing. I know that their dances, and I'm pretty familiar with about 6 to 10 of their popular tracks.
Yeah, same. I know more of their title tracks than I do others.
And they do a lot of different concepts as well too. But they typically go more mature. Dark sometimes.
They've been going towards girl crush, kind of EDM, slightly noisy, which isn't my favorite from them. My favorite title track from Loona is Butterfly, and
I really.
I know I'm not alone. That's not necessarily an unpopular.
I really liked what you might call. Yeah, with Butterfly, they got all that that kind of meme hit stuff. Not meme, but like the underground viral popularity.
Yeah.
The interesting thing to me is there's 12. What are you going to do with 12 people? But
no, the bigger groups had an advantage in Queendom because you can do more theatrical stuff.
Right.
In Queendom, though.
Oh, right. Because not only that, but this is what I was thinking. If you notice, it depends if they're going to have an audience. It sounds like they are because they said they're going to do. They're taking or whatever. They'll probably have masks and stuff. Which is fine. But if you remember the stage, if it does somebody doesn't know, there's a main stage, and then on the sides, on the right and left of you, if you're in the audience. Or at least the right, there was a sub-stage. So I'm betting they'll open those 2 sub-stages and you'll have the bigger groups be able to spread out and stuff. And that'll be really, just make it a little bit more of a wraparound stage. And they'll be able to do these amazing dramatic stuff. And they could do they could just do a ton. And you could have in a large group like that, another advantage. They did this, I don't know if they did this as much in Kingdom, but you could have like a couple people play the baddies and a couple of people, you could do like a story.
Like a whole story because there's that many people,
So definitely. I'm really excited to see them.
It's not a disadvantage, it's an advantage.
Right, and this is one of those groups that doesn't necessarily, it's not that they need the exposure or don't need the exposure, but this is one of those groups that no matter what happens, they will get good exposure out of this. People will learn to like them because they're so funny. Choose adorable. They have all these personalities. My favorite is
Olivia.
Olivia, she's so funny. Okay. She never smiles. So I think they're going to come out, one of the ones who, no matter what happens, which we'll talk about maybe the concept of the show a bit, how it's going to go, but they'll come out fine.
Yeah.
Just smelling like roses just because it's going to be so fun to watch it.
And in our 50% batting average, the last one we got correct was
we
Brave
did get
Girls.
Brave Girls, that's right.
Yes, I'm excited for Brave Girls. They're going to bring a little bit of that don't give a fuck energy.
Maybe you have to beep that now. You said no editing.
And they've been around for a while as a group.
Technically the only person who's been on there once before.
Yeah. So her return to the show. Everyone loves Brave Girls. I'm excited to see what they can do. It's going to just be awesome. There's
something about Brave Girls I can't put my finger on. It's like they're cute. They do kind of cute, funny sometimes, but they're mature. They're not the younger side. Well, they're still very young, but they seem to have a lot of experience and stuff like that, which probably came from those hard years they spent, and then got this viral exposure that blew up, and they really took it gracefully. I thought they could have really turned into craziness, and they really and they put out a follow-up album. That was really good.
2 follow-up albums.
Oh, was it 2?
And they're going to have a comeback.
Oh, right.
Before Queendom.
And then they'll put out one at the end of Queendom. Yeah. So what I think about is cool about Brave Girls is it's so weird to see a group that you never heard of. Maybe I've heard of, like before that.
Not really.
And then they blew up, and now they're such a bankable commodity.
Yeah.
They're so relatable, but they're also like otherworldly pretty like idols. They do it. They cover it all.
I want a documentary a serious documentary made about Brave Girls.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of story that you can't make this up. You can't fake this. This is like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's literally Cinderella.
Yeah.
Which makes you just love them even more.
It makes you pull
I'm so happy. And maybe they'll spend some time on the show talking about that and stuff.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Okay.
Now, in this they have dancer, two main singers, and then she rap. I can't remember if she. I think they have a little bit of.
I don't think that they really rap.
But still, the two vocals, the main two vocals are fantastic.
She's amazing.
Yeah, they're really.
I don't know everyone's names. We'll get to know.
Yeah, we'll get to know them. But I'm really excited to see them. They're just like America's sweetheart kind of term. You know, the Korea's sweetheart, where it's like, oh, now I don't know how Koreans feel about them, but over here it's like it's a very heartwarming.
So popular.
Yeah,
like super mainstream.
I love their style. And everything they've been doing lately is great. It's like
we love
that label finally made some good decisions.
I literally can't gushing over them enough.
Yeah.
And here we're getting into the ones that we got wrong or the people that we didn't guess.
Okay.
So Viviz is one that we put as a maybe.
Mention kind of.
A maybe.
Yeah.
They are a group of 3 that are members that were formerly in G-Friend. G-Friend disbanded last year. Suddenly, they were very beloved in a popular group and have a huge discography, but they, were just suddenly, unceremoniously disbanded by Source Music, which was really unfortunate.
Well, I hope,
So they've gone off to this label BPM with 3 of the members.
Oh, it's a new label. I didn't know that.
Sinbi, Unha, and Unji. I don't know them as well.
We don't either.
But they literally just debuted with Bop Bop, and it's really good.
It's nice. It's tight.
Again,
it's
it
really
sounds
tight.
like G-Friend. They have that vibe. Yeah. That's who they are.
But it was well put together. It wasn't just like they were trying to redo the past or anything. It felt new and stuff. But is Sinbi a rapper? I thought Sinbi was a rapper.
I think
that was her rapper name, but I could be wrong.
Maybe.
But they were good. I did not feel like Brave Girls is 4. That's about my minimum typically. I've seen K-pop groups do 2 now, a duet, which is really hard.
Yeah.
3 you're going, but it works in the you younger people won't know what I'm talking about maybe, but an old school like not doo-wop, but they have the main singer and maybe 2 singing harmonies and they kind of switch parts and stuff. It kind of reminds me of that because you can hear the voices really distinctly. You can't you're not going to overdub it so much. With a group of 12 you could overdub just everybody once and it sounds full. With 3 you can really hear it clearly and they sounded really neat, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do.
I look forward to getting to know them. G-Friend isn't a group that I know super duper well, but I know Sinbi's reputation is as one of the best main dancers in the industry. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
and to getting to.
There's gonna be some amazing dancers. It's gonna be nuts.
So that's awesome, and they have an awesome comeback story of too. So we're gonna.
You don't want to see a talented bunch of girls go just be.
Yeah,
taken off.
I'm happy that they got to continue because they wanted to continue in this, and when your group
this is what's going to happen. I'm already feeling it right now.
We're gonna cry.
No, well that too. I'm already. It happened with Queendom 1. It was long over. It was a couple years, 3 years, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to start liking I can't like so many groups. This is not my hobby. This is your hobby.
Yes, you can.
It's really going to be tough. I got to limit to 5 groups. I can have my alt and 4. And I can't start. And I watch this show, and they're going to start being funny, or they're going to have a heartwarming story. They'll form little friendships, like Park Bomb and what's her name from Oh My Girl. It was so cute. You start to feel, and then you want to follow them on Twitter. And this is going to be hard. I'm too old for this.
You can handle it. And the next one that we didn't expect was we mentioned some soloists, but we didn't mention Hyolyn. She wasn't in our list, and she wasn't really on my radar. But now that I think about it, and I love
the name Sistar. It's like an '80s villain from a cartoon.
Now that I think about it, she's actually an excellent choice. She is a top tier choice for this. Honest to God. I've forgotten how good she is. She's an amazing. That's her label.
Oh, I was like, what is that? You forgot to put
She's
some
on
more?
An independent label.
Oh,
she's by herself. She's a member of Sistar. Everyone knows Starship.
Sistar was.
She's a Starship girl with WJSN.
If you watched.
Formerly
48, the voice actress, the one who spoke real softly and sweet. I forget, but she was a Sistar.
Was the vocal coach from Produce 48, who we loved.
She was awesome.
Just the most amazing singer.
And she gave them tips. And
Hyolyn is also a super good singer and a super good dancer. Can do everything. I think that her popularity level is she's well respected in the industry, but maybe not mainstream.
She's paid
popular.
her dues. She's paid her dues.
Probably because her music is pretty racy adult R&B. Racy adult R&B.
I said this, and I'm actually not kidding.
Dang girl,
they need to cover Kari's eyes because she's gonna get ideas, and I know what she's doing.
Hikaru's gonna get ideas.
She was doing that one thing. And we'll talk about Kepler, but she was doing that one thing, and they were yelling at her, "Stop, Hikaru! You're only 19, but being 17." And she's gonna be watching this. Say that she's so cool because like her favorite idols are like that, who are super pretty and like amazing dancers. And then I didn't hear her rap, and I bet you think she can rap.
Oh, I'm sure she can.
A million miles an hour. And she sings really nice. She held that note at the end of the song. Go watch her last song.
She's going to do good.
At first, I thought, this is a bit too racy for the show. But it's not that she's going to do that. But K-pop is pretty racy sometimes. But then I thought, no, you know what's cool about her? I absolutely adored Park Bom, and I still do. But Park Bom had a bit of a rougher... And I think she maybe had a bit of a harder time in the past. Not to go into it, but... She seemed a little bit sad occasionally, but she was more soulful, more bluesy, you know, and she had that voice that it sounded like,
it's totally unique.
Yeah, it sounded like...
At least unique in K-pop.
It was very smoky, but she just had an expressive voice, but not necessarily... It was powerful, but it was more of the quality of it. Hyolyn here, her voice was good, but she is, if you were to look up K-pop soloist, she is it. Like, she sings, dances, is beautiful. She's probably funny.
Yeah, that's the thing that,
rap.
like, last time it was like, well, was Mom at a disadvantage because she was a soloist? And it was like, she wasn't necessarily at a disadvantage because she was a soloist. She was at a disadvantage because she didn't also specialize in dance. Whereas someone like Hyolyn, who comes to the table being also, like, an incredible dancer and... She could do a dance break. She's not going to be at a disadvantage for having been a soloist.
No, I liked what. So
I think she'll do great, and I think everyone will love her. I think she's pretty funny.
Right, and Bom, I think they were completely right in giving her allowances to like bring a dancer or a rapper in. Yeah, because it's true. These groups don't. You know,
Not everybody has to be good at everything.
That's the caveat. You're a soloist, so you don't necessarily have to cover every role. That is a bit unfair. Yeah. And so nobody cared. Everybody's like, that's cool. It's Bom. You just want to hear her sing, and she did that perfectly. So yeah, well, I'm saying that this person, Hyolyn, is going to be better than Bom. It's just different. She's going to do more of a bit more modern take, not so soulful, more pop, hard pop, like banging pop, and
R&B
stuff.
Pop.
And Hikaru will get ideas, and we'll be doing those moves later, and people will be like, stop it right now. Because this is that's like Hikaru in like 5 years, whatever it is, or 10 years, hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, so point being, I think she's an excellent choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you anything she's hilarious too. Just watch.
Oh yeah, she's
gonna win everything.
So last is Kepler. We talked about in our previous discussion that they were one we didn't expect and actually, quite frankly, didn't want. Not because we dislike them. We're huge Kepler fans. We watch Girls Planet. We love them. It's more that this is going to take 3 months. They have a very short contract. So, and it's really hard. It's a lot of hard work. And we've already seen them go through the ringer on Girls Planet. So having them go through this ringer, there's a part of you that's kind of like, oh no.
Yes. But, I've thought a lot about this.
Okay.
And I wasn't, I was that kind of way, like, no, don't put him in there. But at the same time, I also knew that 3 months of shows, which will be once a week, so that'll be 12 shows, that is way more content you'd get of Kepler than, trust me, many more memes, funny parts, sad parts, not sad, but, heartwarming, make you cry. They get to be the really new cubs, just being super sweet.
Everyone's going to love them and take care of them. Everybody's going to take care of them.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second, but you're going to get more content, quote unquote, out of this, and they might be able to concentrate their energy a bit in this. And I guarantee what they're doing along this way is probably prepping the public for the next album, because they'll come out with their comeback at the end. Yeah. And they'll give little hints during their other songs, maybe. You'll start, I think this will be the best opportunity for them to learn. Now, some of them are much more experienced, like Eugene. She's very experienced with all. But, like, you got the brand new ones. Michiro, for example. I love Michiro to death, but she is very nervous sometimes, or seems very quiet. Not nervous. She's so cute that way. But she's still waiting to come out of her shell just a bit. But then you take Youngun, and you say, Youngun is an incredible dancer. Put her with that soloist and watch them go to crazy, or her in her car. So there's all these little opportunities with Kepler that I really, really like. Hikaru will probably be able to do an insane rap. Maybe with some other rappers.
Please.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've said this before with Hikaru. She will be the idol that everybody is talking about. Like, she will be the biggest thing for over the next couple of years. She's so for being so young, she's so capable and sweet at the same time, being confident. As soon as she gets on stage, that's idol. So I'm worried. I was worried about it. I'm not worried about it, but you have to consider they get to get up and go to the same place. Now they might be promoting and doing stuff in between, but they get to go to the same place. They get to really know these veterans in the industry. Not only that, but people behind the scenes they could work with that they learn later. This is a great opportunity for them. If anything, hopefully their staff are going, this is amazing. Don't worry, you're not going to work your butt off and die from it, hopefully. Having said that, I don't know if we're going to talk about the organization of the show and what we kind of predict for that. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that, but
if you have something to
well,
add.
what I'm adding is that and I like that you have temp contract here.
Yeah, because that's my biggest concern is that they only have 2.5 years. This is taking 3 months of that. But at the same time, it's a hard place to be in as a Kepler fan. Like, I'm very torn because you're totally right. As a fan, we're going to get so much good content and we're going to get to see them so much because of this, which is selfishly awesome because quite frankly, I think some of their variety content they've done up to this point that it's
rushed because they're extending
variety
it out.
shows that they've made for them have not been super
it was
great.
Rushed. Yeah,
they seemed kind of rushed. Yeah, so it's going to be good content for us as fans. You just worry about them because they're so new. They have a lot to prove. I don't want them to get up there and have people be like,
"This is what we're talking about.
They're not very good."
This is what I was going to talk about. The temp contract thing I was saying was funny because the tweet I retweeted said, yes, they can go to the show, but the prize is a permanent contract. Yes, but her car's already signed another one. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. It sucks, but they got other places to go. Anyway, I agree that I thought, okay, so in the first one, they said that each group has to say, this group performed better than us, this group performed worse than us.
Right.
If you got the most votes for worse than us, twice in a row.
But listen, hold on, I think they learn from that.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm
okay,
saying.
Go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. Because Queendom, for example, it's a good evolution of the discussion. Queendom was, let's get a fantasy group together. Even that's the thing about K-pop. If you're into K-pop, you can take a run-of-the-mill K-pop group, kind of even a bad one, and they're still skilled, they're still handsome, they're still funny.
Yeah.
They go through a lot of training. So basically, they took this fantasy group of K-pop groups, boy groups, threw them in with some veterans who were, to my surprise, likable and lovable and sweet and funny and could sing. And the youngest one got to sing with the oldest, and they were amazing. And it was a fantasy camp for 3 months. I was in love with the fact that they were competing. There is a competition here, but it's not for an elimination. And so Kepler will do nothing but gain from this. They'll gain fans. They'll gain knowledge. They'll gain. All they got to do, and they're going to do it, is look very respectful and sweet to everybody. Technically, Eugen and Yesa will be sunbae to a lot of these people already in there. But you know what I mean. So now, if they don't do that vote thing, I think you're right. They didn't do it last time. Go ahead and vote for who you think did above you. Give a bonus point to people, but don't take away points or possibly quote unquote kick them off the show. But didn't
we don't need to make anybody cry? Purpose. Like
it was. You could see as they were doing that part in the original Kingdom, if you know what we're talking about, everybody hated it. The host hated it. But he had to ask, why did you vote on that person? They were like, I loved Oh My Girl's first when we voted for Bomb. They said, we just drew out of a hat. And they literally drew out of a hat because they were so scared to do it.
Right.
So
because that's just like, you don't disrespect other people in the industry. Like, it's not the type of industry where you say something negative about someone else.
It's that game where you have to choose, and it's like, you can't,
I don't think that'll be part of it. It wasn't part of Kingdom. I don't think it'll be part of it.
So what I'm saying is, Mnet is not going to put their brand new, how many, 400, 500,000 album selling group on a show where they're going to be made, not like, made to look the worst, quote unquote, of the group. If anything, the editing and the stuff, they'll look amazing. Yeah. So I'm not worried about that at all. I think it will be what Queendom was mostly, and what I hope this to be. And it's just a fun time to hang out with some really of the best in K-pop. People talk about these groups who are, oh, it should just be groups that are, a lot of these groups are on there because they're failing or they're failed. It's like,
no,
these groups are so much at their prime. They're so skilled. That's what you want. You don't want necessarily the biggest of the big, because then it would just be, they would show up late and there would be this whole thing and there'd be fan wars. You want this where everybody can get behind every group.
I think the level and the groups that are included is really good, because I don't see any like particular fan war targets or anything like that. Yeah. Like with Queendom, it was a little bit vicious with like having groups like ATs and Stray Kids and stuff like that. There was like a little bit of fan warring. I don't think these groups have, and I don't think people should participate in discussions about it with that sort of negative tone anyway. I think this is all just for fun. So
for you young people out there who might be fans and found yourself getting into fan war and stuff like that, these people are doing a job. This is their job.
Yeah.
They're not there hating each other, and because they're there to do, if anything, they're there to make good TV, because if the TV's good, it gets a lot of viewers. You'll get more shows like that. They'll get popular. So every group is there on the best behavior. They really are. And that's the thing I'm excited for, is that kind of feeling of camaraderie in a community. It could be in a community. It could be like, Milk Farmers of America. It's interesting when craftsmen or artists or whatever get together and workshop together. And that's going to be it for 3 months. And we get to see Kepler, who, again, I just want them to let them sleep and eat.
Yeah,
don't stress them.
Same.
Because they are, all of them.
And I don't want anybody to get sick. Please.
Yeah, don't get sick.
Please.
Oh my God, don't even talk about it. Knock on wood. But and it's
everybody
like,
stay in your bubbles, please.
I think they'll be good. I think everybody's had it by now. It's got their shots. So everybody will be all right. And everything's pretty mild now, the symptoms and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really fun, and it'll be a great chance to see this little baby group, get to butt up against some real pros, and not that, but pros that match. Like I said, Hikaru with what's her name, Hyolyn or whatever. Just like that's Hikaru's skill set right there. Just amazing dancing and looking tough, and so we'll see what happens. Now, catch me in 6 weeks or whenever it starts, or 2 months, and I'll be like a wreck. But because they're gonna make it. If they can't make drama with actual drama, they tried that on GP. They'll make it sad. And if it's sad, it'll be really sad. Then it'll just be like.
Yeah, I just feel a little bit for the members of Kepler that are newer to this, who don't have as much
look at
experience.
Shouting. Her language is still getting there,
They're gonna be. I hope they're not in over their heads and stuff like that, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah,
and dude, shouting in a dance competition with the main dancers. Oh my God!
I mean, you know what? I can't wait for her to watch. It makes you kind of.
Please do group cross group, because they didn't really do that with. Original Queendom, but they did a thing where they took all the main dancers, they took all the rappers, they did the main vocalists. Please do that again. That is the most important and the best part of the whole thing. And oh my God,
it was fantasy camp. Like you get to pick your favorite football player. But
it's gonna be so good.
All I can say is enjoy having the pride of your group showing up and like shouting, walking in. Everybody goes, "Oh my God, she's so pretty." Enjoy the pride and let yourself have some fun with that. Don't take it too as listeners and people who view it. But support all the groups, and if you want to know how to support them, you send them good messages, you thumb stuff up, you just be positive, because it is a tough slog of thing in the middle of COVID. So God forbid anybody gets sick, and everything. So good luck to everybody. But I honestly don't. I could honestly say I don't know who's going to do better or worse in this. I
have no idea. Coming into this, I have no idea.
And there's good enough variety. Yeah. There's pretty, there's funny, there's rappy, there's serious, there's angry looking, like they can be like tough, like girl crushy and stuff. Not angry, but they could do all that. And if maybe we could pull out a cute thing from Chocome, and then I'd just be set. Sorry, I had some caffeine before we recorded.
Okay. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you back here on my channel around April 1st when we start doing the weekly recaps of Queendom.
Oh, and look, April 1st is April Fool's Day, so we should do something good.
Okay.
Make up something. Somebody won already.
No. Okay. See you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good one.